Joey McGuire, man, Texas Tech, they are hot on the recruiting trail. That's been a story that's also flying under the radar. Of course, if you're a Big 12 fan or if you're a Texas Tech fan, it's not. But Joey McGuire is on a hot streak right now. Texas Tech is recruiting very well for Texas Tech standards, and they have a lot of good positive energy, good vibes right now with Texas Tech. And if I was a Tech fan, I'd be very excited. I think this is exactly the type of the guy that you wanted, because the previous head coaches, they haven't worked out, and they needed a guy that could come in and do something differently. And what was the thing that needed to be done differently? Texas Tech needed to start actually recruiting. They needed to start recruiting, 4-star level players and higher 3-star level players, a notch above what they had been doing. Because what's the goal here? When Texas and Oklahoma leave in the next year to 2 years, potentially, the new Big 12 is going to be wide open. It's going to be more wide open than the Kansas Plains. And who's going to be that school, that program to get that edge on everybody else? Texas Tech is trying to do that with Joey McGuire. They're trying to be that school that out-recruits everyone else on a new Big 12 standard. And they're also renovating their football facility and their stadium as well. They're doing everything right now to be on track to launch itself as the new top program in the Big 12 when OU and Texas leave. And Joey McGuire, obviously you can't deny the recruiting success. If I was a Texas Tech fan, I'd be very happy. Obviously, it's the head coaching experience. Like, can Texas Tech actually deliver on the field? How many times have we seen this where coaches come on strong, they start recruiting really well, they're making all these new waves, it's a new, they're pitching this new shiny car, and then when it comes to the actual,
then it's a used Toyota.
Yeah, it becomes a used Toyota after year 3, and the guy gets canned. Jeff Collins. So we don't want Joey McGuire to be the next Jeff Collins if you're a Texas Tech fan. So that's my biggest drawback here. But as of right now, and the key words are as of right now, what is there not to like? The guy's done everything that Texas Tech would ever hope and dream for so far.
100%, Shoob. And there's some coordinator hires that we'll jump into later in this pod, but I'm really excited for Texas Tech fans. Man, they are on such a great trajectory to position themselves, especially if they do this in back-to-back classes. I've heard a lot of naysayers and all that on social media say, well, Tech's really not that good. They're not recruiting that well. Their numbers are inflated, or da-da-da-da. Well, the thing is, look, if you're an SEC guy, if you're like a upper echelon Big Ten team, sure, for you, that may seem to be the case. But relative to what Tech has recruited and what it's like in the Big 12, Tech is recruiting at a phenomenal pace. They are recruiting at a higher rate than some teams that are in the upper echelon of the Big 12. So right now, Texas Tech is poising itself perfectly. In addition to that, they're making all these stadium upgrades and whatnot. They're dropping millions of dollars on that. And everyone in that fan base is just over the moon right now. And 100%, they have a really good NIL collective over there too. Working with that, even their women's basketball team is making a decent little money, a decent little penny nowadays. And so it just, I think Tech is in such a great position to take over this new Big 12 if they continue on this trajectory. So I 100% like this hire for Tech. They're doing so well right now.
They're doing all the right things. And when you talk about the recruiting thing, like I said earlier, everything is relative. So when we say Tech's recruiting very well, they're not going to be in the top 15 at the end of the year nationally. But in the new Big 12, if you're inside the top 20 or even the top 25, that's pretty good. So all good vibes right now with Joey McGuire. You can't say anything bad about him. We'll see what happens, though, on the field this season.